All right, you ready to start?
Yep, all ready.
Let's do it. All right. We have a hero, a high level, decently high
class.
level, strong, best class, fully buffed. No, buff more, right? Needs
Yeah, boss
buffs.
hero. Yeah, it's a weak. It's weak. It's really weak.
Struggling class, yeah. And yeah, tell me a little bit about your current situation and what you need help with.
Yeah. I've been playing seriously since August, and it's my I say highest level character. Currently, I'm doing eKalos, eKalos,
Almost, yeah.
and we are progressing eKaling.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And it's with one set party that you guys are like slowly trying to build
Yeah,
up.
we've been together since we've been six manning since Hardlu Will.
Okay, so you guys have a good rapport. Everyone knows each other. Good composition of the party.
Yeah, we've got a bishop, two dawn warriors, a hero, an Adele, and a DB. So it's not the worst party, but
Okay.
it's fairly good.
Okay. And Easy Carlos is easy now, I'm guessing. If everyone
Yeah,
else
we went in really late, so we were. Should we try this after doing our monthly black mage with all our buffs? Then we just one shot it
Yeah.
without doing any tests. Yeah, doing any systems. So yeah.
Yeah, you just nuke through it basically, right? And and Easy eKaling, how's that been?
Yeah, well, we are trying our luck. I think we're quite colorblind, like the the strings. Is
With the strings? Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Did you see the
But
little?
we definitely have the damage. Yeah.
Yeah, if Easy Culling is that easy, yeah, the damage is usually not really the issue with culling. It's more just controlled. Yeah, the gauge is getting hit by the right things at the right time, dodging as much as possible. When you don't need to, and then being patient with your timers to make sure that you can like nuke out of P2, having enough damage so you can nuke out of dog and P1 is pretty important.
Yeah, the bishop and eyes on dog. It's a two burst, but it's fine. Our problem is the second phase. We do one bursted, but without Jenny iframes. We sometimes we gauge out
Yeah.
before we kill the boss, and that just fucks up the whole P3. So
Yeah,
am I allowed to curse on the stream or?
Yeah. We're
Oh.
past like the first 15 seconds of the video, so it should be fine. Although YouTube
Oh.
has demonetized one of my videos for a little bit too many swear words in it, but I asked for a manual review and it just said no, it's upheld. No like timestamps, no, this is
no
where
problem
this
with,
is
with the mic
no
stalling in the
details.
beginning. So
Yeah.
swear all we want.
No, if you're fine with the double burst in eKaling and P1, that's fine. I mean, for P2, you might just need more people with their origins up. Because most people origin and then they're 10-second immune, right? And if you can kill it within those 10 seconds, then you're good because you don't get hit by anything. But yeah, if you have that would mean that you have to wait a lot longer for all the cooldowns in P1, but that might be worth it to just guarantee that you're getting out of P2.
Yeah, the reason I think we're holding a few origins for P3 just to get a clean start on the face, and everyone gets the positions. But yeah,
you just went in the beginning, like for the positions.
Well, we get into positions and then we haven't really done P3 that much. It's a few times,
yeah. Okay. Yeah, because ideally, you want to keep like one origin so that you can use that one together with the next like 2-minute burst that's coming after the burst from P2. So if you can hold one, typically you can also like hold the one that does the least damage, right? One that's more like a bind rather than a big damage dealer. Don't want to point fingers, but maybe the bishop. I don't know like how strong they are, but maybe compared to all the other people, their damage on it is lower. And do you have a dedicated holder for P3?
Yeah, we have the DB doing eKaling.
Okay, gotcha, yeah. If you're just starting to build up on practice, a lot of it is just going to come down to, it's come down to timing and good communication and try to go into P2 with like as balanced as possible on the colors, right? So take like a little bit of strings, take a little bit of hits if you need to before going into P2 to make sure it's balanced out.
Yeah,
So that you
the
have,
first phase is not really a problem for the string. So then yeah, as I said, the P2 sometimes it just gauges out. I think
Yeah,
that's
but
landing on
you
something
might
during
you
the
might
burst
gauge
order.
out a little bit faster in P2 if you don't like balance out properly before entering P2 as well.
Yeah,
And then,
we
but you
made
might
sure
be able, yeah,
to be
okay, yeah.
balanced. Yeah.
No, that's good. That's good. Yeah, get more origins, get more damage, right? I mean, you're slowly but surely all getting stronger because the 6th job is building up. So it's just going to be a matter of time. And then once you get that down, then you can probably move into normal Kalos. But it's definitely quite a bit more damage required. But there's different strategies to do there. If you guys are good at cleansing and you guys can communicate well because you've been playing together for a long time, then cleansing more and taking the run a little bit more slowly on normal Kalos should be fine.
Yeah, the comms aren't really a problem. I think it's quite the opposite. Like we're so relaxed that the comms sometimes get too unserious.
Okay. Yeah, that's if you've been bossing for a long time, you wanna. It's also like a friend hangout thing, so you wanna shoot the shit. But then, especially if you're doing normal Kalos, you need to make sure that everyone follows and that you have like one, like dedicated shot callers or some specific stuff that everyone does and is in tune with. Otherwise, the run can get out of hand really quickly.
Yeah, we've been doing pretty bad practice. It's just been bursting. Then insta-test and burst and insta-test. So we have
for easy, it's a completely, it's not a boss, honestly. It's just it's a dummy that you're just, and then you jump around for the test and then you go back to hitting the dummy, basically.
Yeah.
It's a huge difference between the two, yeah.
Also, no one in the party is liberated yet, so we have all the liberation FD coming in.
Yeah, what's the timetable on that?
I'm liberating in August. As the latest one in the party. We're 2 liberating in August, and then 1 in April, and then I think it's split between June and July. So past summer we'll all be liberated.
Okay, and then 2nd Mastery Core and all that, and hopefully the game's still alive.
Yeah, hopefully we can get Meso by then. Yeah.
Yeah, how are you feeling about all of that? Like, has that affected your plans?
No, not really. When I heard the news, it was it's a bad time, but yeah, well, we'll see. If it arrives, it arrives. If not, then we've talked about it in the party, and if the meso changes come in, then we'll just liberate all of us and then probably quit. We'll see.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
Because nobody's trying to like put up with that.
No, but it's a reboot change, and we're heroic, so
yeah,
no problem.
No, that is true. I mean, but it would be nice to know to which extent it's a Maple change and to which extent it's a reboot versus heroic change. Because, they redid the cubes, renamed the servers, is that because they can make more separate decisions? Or is it just because they want to appeal to a different market, but it's going to be the same product, like, largely behind the scenes, right? It'd be good to know ahead of time more that. But, in a sense, it's already wild that we know so many things ahead of time because Korea just, gets it like a week or 2 in the test server and then they just get it, right? So they don't even have the luxury of knowing what might happen. They just kind of like we're just blindly throwing into it.
Yeah, I just hope that Korea is the first child and then we're the prize second child and we get all the good stuff.
The favorite child, yeah. When they know what they can fuck up and what they can fuck up, so we get to get away with more, okay. So as everyone, so you're eKaling. Did you guys have like a goal in mind for like normal Kalos? Do you guys just want to be more liberated, or are there like BAs you have in mind until you move up? Or have you guys tried normal ever already, or just knocking out easy?
Our thought process was that we were gonna practice normal, not normal, easy Kalos, and then we went in and then we one-shot it, and then we just decided to do easy clears. Easy Kalos clears, and then prac eKaling instead. Because we would rather have the double income of the half shots than prac normal and then not do eKaling.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you're probably at the point where even if you like practice normal Kalos like twice and you run out of G skills, you could probably still just kill easy on the same day. Even if the G skills run out, you're probably still gonna run through it.
Oh yeah, well we're doing usually we're just doing hard Saren into eKalos. And we have a lot of time left on the G skills after that as well.
Yeah, and that's I guess that's another thing. I mean, we're kind of just like going with whatever. If there's any topics that you you want to bring up or just mention it. But the thing that generally becomes the topic of conversation as well once you're getting into those bosses is when do you start like splitting up your Saren party. Not because you can't play with the homies, but emblems can take forever to get, and if you as a 6-man group give yourself double the chance or even triple the chance if you break up into duos, you'll have harder runs, but you might get the whole party more pitched more quickly, and then the whole party can transition into like normal Kalos and stuff like that faster as a result, right? It's it's a small thing, but it's one of the steps in the process.
Yeah, we were talking about that early during Siren, and then it just so happened that we had 2 emblems in 4 runs, so
okay,
the party is already stacked out with them.
That's good. So everyone else is like, if we just run and make the run faster for you guys, then
yeah, I've already called dibs on the 2 people with emblem.
Okay, I see. Yeah, so you're basically like a 4-man with two supports that deal a lot of damage, kind of thing. That don't want the drops. Okay. That's lucky. That's pretty nice.
Yeah, but we're probably looking to split at some point. But doing the easy eKaling prac and then having to learn normal colors and then doing this Hatzer and 3-man is a little bit too much at the same time.
Yeah, exactly. You have to just kind of like look at how much time do we have, in general per person, and how much time during the week do we want to spend on this thing, because it's especially the transition from easy to normal is like, are we going to do normal like 1 session? Are we going to do like 2 or 3 runs in that 1 session? If it doesn't go, we just do easy, or do we do multiple sessions, right? There's a whole bunch of things, especially when you're still practicing, that you can set up for that. Or you could, you do a practice run, you're like, okay, this is like way too much, like we're nowhere near ready yet. But then you know that as well, and then you don't have to work, you don't have to think about that too much. Because you're usually looking at like burst segments over 30, probably going like 30 towards 40 trill on the BA.
Yeah, I've also sent you the BAs. I don't know if there's any other settings or any other BA I should have done. It's just the first that came to mind were a 6-minute.
Oh yeah, so I've got a BA command where you can like submit them. You can submit the numbers and everything, and then everyone who's submitted, you can see all the numbers of everyone. I don't look at it very often myself, but like for mobbing and bossing, if you do like BAs, you can put them all in here. I don't know how many people are actually using it.
Yeah, I can throw mine up. There's no problem.
Yeah, only like a few entries so far this month, but we got some. Most of it is just newbie training, pretty much only newbie. But I do like giveaways for the people who signed up as well and who want their name in the hat. But yeah, it just also helps that you can just compare, training videos that you can compare to on how people do their rotations and try to have that all in one place. But yeah, for the input, it should also have the settings for all of the separate BAs. So you can use that as kind of like a mild guide to kind of look at which BAs you could set. But yeah, 6-minute, 3-minute. It's made for normal Kalos. What's really important is just the 40-second one, or 35 second, or 40 if you have a Kana.
Yeah, we don't have a Kana.
Yeah. So like 35 is a bit cleaner because it's like 50-second Groggy, 10-second Jenny. So if you don't have Jenny as well, that is more like a 25 to 30 is more realistic. Just how long you can realistically attack without getting interrupted at all. I mean, for you, the most important is 20 seconds, right? Because that's your instinctual combo timer. That's like the But you can definitely do 20 because of Groggy plus Bind. That's at least 25 already. So you get the brunt of your burst off. But yeah, so typically it's a 35-second BA, and you can start looking with your parties if everyone gets like around like the 30 to 35 trill mark, maybe with a few outliers and a few lower, but you do have a bishop, and you could start thinking about like doing normal Kalos with like a more reasonable chance of hitting the test, basically.
Yeah,
there's a little bit of a goal to work towards. Yeah.
No, we have a lot of bossing that we could pick up on. So it's mostly like we still have some arcanes that people are working on. We haven't hit Liberation yet, so there's a lot of big games still coming in. So, yeah.
Definitely. And what's the lower boss of like the C10A? Is it just everyone soloing everything, trying to get out a pitch waiting room?
Yeah, I'm doing Will. I could do solo, but I've been doing with this guy from the party for a long time, and we hit a book, and then he got it, and then we were like, we might as well just run duo as well, just to do it quicker.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we would have split up earlier.
Yeah,
Also,
I did
Dark Nil is,
duos. Sorry.
yeah, Dark Nil is I think it's probably one of the worst bosses in the game, in my opinion. So we are doing a 2-man with a carry.
Yeah, I got you.
We're carrying someone, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't do hard Dark Knell really until I liberated as well. It was just a little bit too much below that. I think with Origins now, I'll probably be able to solo it more reasonably at a lower level, because the way I see Origin, it's kind of like a half liberation, right? Like it's a huge damage increase as well, and it's also a long iframe, just every 6 minutes instead of every 3 minutes. But it's kind of like having a half liberated weapon, but earlier. So I think that's enough. And then with 6-shot damage, of course, is definitely gives the jump towards doing solo C10A definitely before liberating. But, you know, depending on if it's like a month before or 7 months before, that's very depending on how much you play the game and how far your character already is by the time you start. Some people start libbing super early, and some people start libbing and they're like, oh my god, I should have started 4 months ago, like I'm way too strong now. Like if only I knew that I should have started that long ago, then I would have already been halfway, you know.
Yeah, that's also our situation. I think our first like real kill of Black Mage was like a 9-minute or so. So we were quite a lot stronger than we probably should have been.
Yeah, everyone kind of learns at a different level with the mechanics as well, right? I don't know if some people were probably already clearing, right? Because you said some people clearing one in April and some in June and July, so they were already clearing before. Was it because some of you died out, or did they run with other people?
Nah, we were just we were progressing C10A, and then he had some friends that could carry him. The guy that living in April, and then our bishop, he being a bishop, he gets free runs.
Yeah, of course, yeah, that makes sense.
when we were clearing, you know, they might as well just accept the free runs. So there's no bad blood or anything about it.
Yeah, no, I mean, there's one thing about, like, starting together and then, like, all liberating at the same day, but I think we're kind of, as a game, we're kind of past that, right? I mean, that was, like, really cool, like, that first year when the first parties were libbing, but now, yeah, most people are, like, libbing their 4th and 5th characters and stuff, or not most, but, like, you know, people are liberating, like, several characters at the same time. It's not that special anymore. I mean, it's still a really big upgrade for your character, of course, but it's not, like, a special whole account thing that... in terms of the game, right? It's not like it's a milestone, but it's not like something that hasn't happened in the game yet or something. So I think that changes a little bit the value surrounding it. It becomes a more practical thing than like a huge mental milestone for everyone involved kind of thing. Okay, so I have a decent idea of where you're at. I've also already looked through the screenshots, of course, because you checked earlier. Your your Hexa matrix, I should say, is already coming along very nicely. I bet that 29 to 30 is probably way too expensive, right?
Yeah, it's a 250. 250
yeah, a little spicy. So I'm guessing
there's no big threshold for the mastery ones. So it's gonna
World
be
Reaver World Reaver is probably really shit, right? And then
oh no, it's the best one. I'm just saving it for last.
Oh, he's saving. Okay. And yeah, I guess Sword Illusion because of the uptime. I don't know, it can also miss every now and then, right? Bosses teleporting around, you have to... I guess it's the most fickle one, so the other 3 that you have at like 7, 9, 10, those are going to be pushed, what, up to 19 or something until...
Yeah, I've almost gotten the Burning Soul Blade to 10 before, after I've sent you
oh yeah, nice.
And then I'll get that to 10, and then I'll work on the Origin again, but that's expensive. That's really expensive.
Yeah, I saw the individual price on that one. It's pricey. And the Hexa stat is done? Oh, yeah, here. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I think I forgot. Oh
yeah, no, you got it. Yeah, 5, 5, 10. Okay.
5, 5, 10. Yeah,
at least something is 10.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something hitting 10 is always nice. You got the 1, 3, 1, 3, 3, 1, 3. Yeah. Okay. All right. I mean, I guess it's a nice intro and a little bit of a chat about like where you're at and everything. So did you have any questions written down or any topics you want to explore?
If you feel like you've been through like most of the normal stuff, then yeah, I have some questions written down.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, normal stuff is usually, you know, if someone has like a few topics that they don't know, but you're in a very different situation in the game, right? Sometimes someone is like, I don't know when to switch to Arcane, or, you know, should I do Sweetwater dailies and stuff? Like, you know, this character at least is like way beyond that point, right? So any topic you have, we can use that as a jumping off point, and then we can just see where we land.
We could start with some gear. Because if you go look at my emblem, I was wondering when I should probably look into fixing the third line.
Yeah, so emblem is usually about we want to use glowing cubes, right? 40 bill, a little over 40 bill off event, a little bit around 30 bill, maybe a little bit over 30 bill average cost on event, to put it into perspective in terms of like the other possibilities. The thing is just that if you are meeting the requirements already for everything that you're doing, and you are killing Heart Saren, and you're, you know, even if you guys do split up in a party, right? You go 3 and 3, and every party has one of the guys who already has an emblem, so you have basically, if it drops, you have a 50-50 of getting it. It's really up to you whether you still want to make the investment to go for 3-line before that comes around. For most people, they probably end up eventually with a 30% before they get the Saren emblem. It's just more realistic. Because I would probably have... Personally, I would put it, because of how much damage it is for that money, I would put it before 22ing some of the stuff you already have 22. But I would definitely put it before jumping from 19 to 21 Arcane. That's usually where I kind of put it, like in between there.
Well, I'm almost full 21 Arcane.
Yeah, and you're already almost full 21 Arcane. So I think money per upgrade wise, it's like its turn for sure. And also because there's not that many other projects that you have other than min-maxing your potential. And if you're going to min-max potential, then the emblem is definitely like the best gain per money, because it's a whole extra line of attack. And
yeah,
you know,
hit his 3-line with a solid cube. So.
Yeah, I hit one. Yeah, on one character. It's nice. Yeah, my hero hit it on a solid cube. So now you just do the same, and then we're good. But I had 2 emblems, right? So I could roll one, roll the other.
I also have 2 emblems, so I could also just roll.
Oh yeah.
The other.
Oh yeah. Then definitely because I had like the same as you, but then a strength line as the 3rd line, and then the other one rolled 40 IED and 2 attack, which, you know, you don't really need the IED, but it's probably still a final damage increase compared to this, because, you know, IED and you have higher level bosses at 380 PDR and everything. It's probably still better, but that also gives you the option to do the same thing with your secondary, but your emblem is definitely on average cheaper, so that's like the first project for sure. And yeah, and you could also Star Force your weapon, because I think I saw you do have some backup, so if there's an event like that, you can always just... Stepping up to 19 is pretty safe and pretty free. And then, you know, 19 is fine. Because, I mean, if you were liberating, like, in a month or so, I would say, you know, don't bother with it. But you still have some months to go. So, and all the other Star Forcing you're doing is, like, well, a cape all the way. And that's pretty much it, right? Everything else is kind of done. Just waiting for pitch boss.
Yeah, I'm just doing the arcades. All the other Star Forcing is, as you said, pitch boss, waiting room.
Yeah, and I think also, for you, it still might be a little too early, but we are going into a generation of gamers now that are just going to sit on 21 Arcanes, and 22 is not going to be necessary. Because you're going to be able to get enough damage to get into normal Kalos, easy eKaling, and with 21 Arcanes, and you not have to pay that extra premium for that one extra star. That can be, you know, it can be cheap, but it can also be very expensive, right? Or you could just wait long enough until you have like 6 backups of everything, and you could just basically tap it for free up to 22, in the sense that you don't have to ever buy the backups, right? Which can be a heavy premium. And then straight go into tapping into Eternals from 21 Arcanes. For you, that might be still a little bit too early. You might have to still go to 22 Arcanes, but the people who are like getting to the point where you are now in like 3 or 4 months are most likely not even going to think about 22 Arcanes anymore. Or they shouldn't. They probably still will, because, you know, it looks better, but people want to finish their items, right? You're probably feeling that itch a little bit.
Yeah, it's my plan for the upcoming event. Well, we don't know when it's coming, but when there's an event, I'll go for the cape and see where it goes.
Yeah. And then maybe the weapon. You have like 3 backups now, or what did I see? 2, 3.
It's the top picture.
Oh, top picture. Oh yes, here. Yeah. Yeah, you got 3 weapons.
I also got 2 belts back to back.
Oh, that's very nice. That's very nice. Yeah.
And a boob one. So it's the one pitch that I get a lot.
I used to get lucky on belts. I mean, at least like as a drop, but it's also the one, yeah, that I haven't gotten to 22 yet. I've seen 3 or 4 attempts at 21 in total, but no 22. So a whole bunch of traces. That's it.
Yeah,
that's what I did on
pitched. It's a 22 or a trace.
Yeah, because your other stuff is that good, right? Which is good in a way. I mean, it sucks because it's a high bar to get them, but it also means that once you do hit, that means you can go full on the flame and full on the potential. You don't have to worry about ever having to think about, you know, staggering back and forth again, frog leaping one over the other. You don't have to worry about that anymore. It's better to just, you know, rip off the bandage and just get it off in one go.
Yeah. Even if I hit the build, I'm not gonna be able to wear it. So it's just the price, I suppose.
Do you by the way, just because I'm seeing this, you ring swap roar for weapon jump 3 or?
Nah. For group bossing, I'm just doing roar, and for solo bossing.
Because you guys are mostly 3-minute, right? Because you got 2 Dawn Warriors and
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so you guys do 3-minute bursts and then yeah, you do lose some damage there, but for the highest level bosses, for soloing it'd be better to ring swap, yeah. But for party, it just makes sense to just keep the roar. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just a bit lazy for the solo. It's basically, I'll just basically use my con 4 unless it's a gloom or a 1 burst boss, then I'll do the roar.
Yeah, for gloom you want to be burstier. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Or like for Vihela, you do like roar with with Origin, like a really big nuke, and then you kind of just jump around. Swap for the continuous, and then 2 minutes later you burst, right, when the continuous comes back out. Unless you get 2 bursts, then you might as well keep the roar. Yeah, it kind of depends on how fast you are.
I'm nowhere near 2 bursts on Vihela. Yeah, I think that's the first Zeta boss that I started soloing, actually.
Oh, yeah. Well, we're kind of cheating because we can get healing fams, right? If you didn't have healing fams,
exactly.
it'd be a lot easier to do Gloom first. Especially now that Gloom is easier with the falling balls and the darkness, right? That made Gloom way more doable. But yeah, I think I went to like 19 Arcane Weapon as well when I had like 3 backups like you. And then eventually had like 7 or something, so I went for 21 eventually. But that's probably not going to be necessary. But like 17, I would go for a 19 weapon, try to get the other stuff to 21. But the main project I would say is the emblem, and then after that, you have another secondary as well, right? Is you could try for the secondary, see if you can hit instead of 2 attack on IED, if you can hit 2 attack on boss, because your ID should be fine.
Yeah, especially with the I think I'm 97% visual and in a bishop party.
Yeah, bishop gives another 40%, so you're more than okay, and even solo, and you can swing in some ID fams if you're really desperate or something. But there's always some event buff or something you can buy for another 15%, right? Yeah.
Yeah, my fams are ass though. So.
Yeah, I mean, since for star forcing, you're basically always waiting for event. You could do. What's the website doing? Why can I not zoom in anymore now? Oh, nice. Now I just lost the ability to zoom in on the pictures. And now I can do it again. Cool. What was I saying? Oh yeah, so usually for cubing, I'm fine with advising to like do it off event and then just wait for events for star forcing mostly. But since for star forcing, you really only are gonna have like 1 or 2 projects, and for cubing, it's gonna be bigger projects and more expensive. And we're looking towards the anniversary update right after the next update. There's a good chance that has a cube sale somewhere in it. So it's up to you whether you want to wait or not, of course, but it'll depend on your weekly income. Do you know how much you roughly make per week?
Yeah. I also have some questions about boss mules, but we will save that for a bit later. But yeah, okay. My weekly income, I have 3 Lomian boss mules and 1 Akechi mule. and that's about 6 billion from just boss mules. Then the main makes, I'm not sure how much the main makes, but it makes a couple billion. And then the 1 bill from doing, what is it called, Maple Tour and Ursus, and then I grind a lot, so I'm not sure how much a week, but I'd expect like 12 bill or something.
Yeah, I mean, I could tell by the level of your mastery core that you definitely do a little bit of training. So that's going to supplement your income to quite a big extent, where you don't need to rely on the bossing mules as much, of course. So that helps.
Oh wait, it's 4 low min mules actually. So yeah.
Yeah, the Kali, I guess, also.
No, it's actually the Night Lord. It's way stronger than the Kali.
Marksman. Oh, is it? Yeah. I mean, maybe you had it longer, so it's like funded a bit differently.
Nah, the Kali was because I started before Savior, and so the Kali was like my second highest character for a long time because of the 230.
Yeah, free 231 basically.
Yeah,
is it fake arcane on it?
No, it's just the.
Yeah, it's like either it's really shitty ones or it's purple, but I can't really tell.
It's just the Kali skin.
Okay, gotcha.
It has a fake absolute.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, I didn't have any notes back then. It all went to the main. So I finally.
Now you can start giving back to the plebeians who are running out. I did see though for nodes, you did go quite hard on the decent skills. Was that did they have a specific goal, or did you just end up throwing in because it wasn't maxed yet?
No, the reason for that is that I went really hard on the boost nodes. Like where I bought boost nodes to max the boost nodes, and then my skill nodes were really low, so I had to open a lot more nodes, and then it just so happened that I got a lot of decent skills. I've tried to manually max, or see the blink and the grapple and the what is that, hyper body, or what's called the buff. Not hyper body, but the other one, because it gives
impenetrable skin.
The good ones I've been maxing myself. The other ones just sort of happened.
Gotcha. Yeah, because if you're looking more, and bossing mules kind of, peeking around a corner. If you're looking more to like funding your entire account, there are some things that you can cut that will change your damage almost not at all, and they will give you so much value back for your entire account. That one of the things is, I think, like the decent skills, except for decent holy symbol, of course, is just keeping them level 1, honestly, until your entire account has got like all the nodes set up that they need. Because it's like, for most of them, it's like 2 or 3 all stat between level 1 and level 25, and they already have 100% uptime at level 1. And we have buff freezers permanently, right? So you can't have the thing where, you die and you have to wait. It's really only if you log off and you log back in that you maybe can't use them immediately or something like that. So I think keeping the decents very low, especially on like any other character you're going to play from now on, will make sure that you can start trickling down your nodes more specifically to characters that need them more to get their damage up. And the second thing that I didn't hear you talk about is if you're trying to level up a lot of nodes at the same time, but you don't have like a specific one priority. So for hero, it's most likely just your, and of course now that I say it, I don't know the name, but like the blade, right?
Yeah, Burning Soul Blade, yeah.
Burning Soul Blade, yeah. That one is definitely important to max out, but after that, there's not like, there's an order, but there's not like, Instinctual Combo is important for bossing, but for your entire account, everything kind of helps, right? So in those situations, I think what's really good for like building your account and for getting good value is instead of like crafting the boost nodes with the shards, it's just crafting the node stones instead, and just keep on recycling those instead. And that way you will max out individual nodes slower, but the value per node will go up a lot. Especially if you're going 4 boost nodes. If a class is going 2 boost nodes, you might just specifically target, right? Because then you have to extract way too much. But I think eventually, because of Mastery Cores, most classes will end up with 4 boost nodes, because you have to level up all the skills in the Mastery Cores with the boost nodes, right? You have to be level 40. So eventually, if they keep making Mastery Cores, more and more skills that maybe we're not leveling now are going to end up in the Mastery Cores. And if we want to level up the Mastery Cores, we're going to have to equip the boost nodes. So I think, I'm pretty sure that like within 6 months, on the next batch, again, if the game's still live, we'll probably see that we'll have to start leveling some dodgy skills that we may not even have wanted. Some classes have everything already clustered you know, so they have 2 boost nodes, and that includes like 12 skills, so they don't really have any troubles. But some other classes might have
combo
to.
ops mastery win.
Yeah, well, yeah, something like that, right? But like for Adele, they got that new mastery core, which is like for Plummet. But like Plummet is already part. They don't boost Plummet, but Plummet is part of another thing that they do boost, so they don't have to make an extra boost node for it. But I think some classes, especially the ones that only have 2 boost nodes, probably gonna have to make a second set eventually. Maybe everyone from 4 to 6 as well, but that might be 2 more mastery cores away. So I think that's another year and a half of safety. But just in terms of like the more rare resources like boost nodes for your entire account, just to make sure that those 2 things are mentioned as options there.
Yeah. The reason why I went hard on the boost nodes in the beginning, because I didn't really look into the matrix or how to do it properly. I just saw Raging Blow and I thought cool ability, goes hard, so I just went hard on the boost nodes. But yeah,
makes sense.
On all my other characters, I look at what is the most efficient to max, and I would never do the decent past one. I've only done this one because it's the main, and it's a min max kind of thing. But I like squeezing out wherever I can.
Well, yeah, that's the thing, right? You wanna fund your your bossing mules and stuff with boost nodes. If you have a lot of boost nodes, then that's fine. If you have a lot of money, then you want to use money. If you have a lot of time, then you want to do dailies and do a lot of like content to get you backups and stuff like that. And that's how you can get value, right? It's all about like finding where you have a resource available and then giving proportionally more of that resource to fund your character than the others, essentially. But we started here by you talking about the equips. Did you have other equip questions?
I can fill you in with like what my plans are, and then you can, fill me in. So I plan to do see where the arcanes goes. Hopefully the cloak will go to 21, and then I'll see how the backups are looking and how much money I have left, and then I'll probably try and hit 22, or I'll do fix my potentials. Some of the items are 2, not even 2.5, so I could probably go for 2.5 and some of the accessories.
Maybe even the armors, right? Like the shoulder and the shoe, that kind of thing.
Yeah. That also goes in the pile of potentials. Also, my legs are still unique, but it's a free line.
Yeah.
And I thought it was. Yeah.
Yeah, I would before 21 to 22. I would look towards money because if we there's a chance, right, that we get the shining in the next update. If you do, I think it might be a good idea to see if you can hit those. Well, basically those 2 things, right? To see if you can hit 21 cape and then 19 weapon, and then you're basically done with Star Forcing until those 22s. But you're making a decent amount of money. But if your next project, and there is most likely a cube sale coming, right, in the anniversary event after that, if you're going to go on emblem and you're going to go on secondary, and there's some and you basically want to go 2.5 line on everything, that's going to add up being quite a lot of money. And it's fine to wait then until probably again, right, in Dreamer, then a shining, to then go for 21 to 22 on the arcanes. I think that's a pretty good rhythm for you for your situation.
Yeah, I'm playing the calculator game a lot, so I look at how much would it cost me to do the arcanes, or how much would it cost me to cube just 2.5 line, and then I'll just go for whatever's cheapest. I haven't really looked at how big of an upgrade something would be normally. It's more is it cheaper for me to Star Force, or is it cheaper for me to cube, and then I'll go with the cheaper.
Yeah, and if you're at the point where you're doing those big upgrades, just and the events line themselves up, it's just easier to kind of just follow the events and not really worry about anything else. So you could just focus on making money, right? And just getting that in. Because I think if you go for 21 and 22 now, you might even hit it on some, or maybe even on all. But then you'll be completely broke when the cube sale comes out. And proportionally, you want the emblem gains now, and you probably also want the secondary gains. That'll proportionally give you more damage, probably more damage than 21 to 22 arcane does. So missing that opportunity on sale for the other one on sale, when they're most likely anyway in summer, is going to be another shining, which, from now, again, that's like more than 3 months away. But if you go 0 out in the next 2 months, then you'll need a whole month to make money back anyway. So it's not like super far away. And then you have months, so 4 to 5 weeks. You said we made around 15 bill? 17? What did you say?
Yeah, it's probably between 12 and 15. depending on how
15.
much I
Yeah,
decide
so
to
something
grind.
like... So then you might be back at like 50 to 60 bill, and then, you know, you could see if you can hit some 22s. But I know you want to be done, you want to have the 22 arcanes, but there's always the case of like, why do you want a 22 arcanes? Just because it's done, or because it gives you damage? And if so, what other things give you damage, and what would be more optimal, right? It's like, which thing is winning there? Being done with the arcanes, or actually being stronger and not being done with the arcanes? That's kind of like that's a more personal question. But I think for the rhythm, what makes sense for me is look at the patch notes next week. If there is a shining, then I would go for, you know, Cape 21. Or even if there's a 5, 10, 15, I probably still would. But ideally, for, you know, hopefully we get a Shining Star Force. Go for the Cape and the weapon. And then set on my money for a cube sale. If the cube sale doesn't come, you know, which is also possible, I would still go for the emblem and the secondary. Maybe not for the 2.5 to 3 lining yet. Maybe then you just save instead for summer shining. Then get the 22s ready, and then just cube whenever you feel like it, basically.
Yep. Right.
It's kind of how I see it. Yeah. Because, I mean, I yell at the chat so often, but this is like my dream scenario, that you have, well, maybe the flames could be a little bit better, but like that you have 22 CRA, and that it's like barely 21, or even still like unique in 21. Like you'll always yell at people, because even today I saw a 15-star hat that was like legendary with 27% strength and had like a 30 flame on it or something. And I'm like, you paid all the money for star forcing without the payoff. The flame is garbage, while it is a flame advantage item that you get as one of the earlier pieces, and the potential is way too far for, you know, the money that should be spent on it, because it's the hat and it has the worst odds of getting stat on it. So it's like it's upgraded, but it's like all wrong. It's like completely out of whack, you know.
Yeah,
so
my
these
CRA
are
flames definitely
great.
use some work.
Yeah, but there'll be some events here and there where I'm guessing you got your arcanes pretty early, so they just took precedent over the CRA, and then when you're finally done, you get the next one, so you just keep another project keeps like taking priority, right?
I'm having a hard time hitting a good shoulder flame. Just doesn't happen.
Yeah, man, just keep trying. You gotta get those special black
out
karma
of 1,000
flames.
flames in. Yeah.
Damn, yeah, that's still rough. What did you
my,
get, like required level, or yeah?
I think I'm just using the wrong flames.
Yeah, maybe, yeah. You just keep
we're
saying
talking
error.
about- yeah. Yeah, it's just that it doesn't work. I don't know what.
You keep
what's
burning
going
up. Yeah.
Yeah. But my superior neck, it has a pretty good flame.
Mm-hmm. They're oh yeah, I didn't check the exact numbers. 16, 4, 24, 2, 40 and 5 pennant. Yeah, that's pretty disgusting. Those 5s, you don't see that very often.
Yeah, I think that's a 1% or something.
Yeah, that's a 1%. I mean, if you had just 5, that would already be really solid, honestly. But like an extra 40 on top of that, I don't think I've seen. Nah, I've probably never seen a higher superior flame than that. And that's only 2 line essentially. There's still 2 more lines to go. I have 1 int, or maybe it might be a 32 strength and an 8 and 8 in strength switch probably.
I'm never touching that one again.
Yeah, no, of course not. No. I mean, you're in
Yeah.
pitch waiting room anyway, right?
Yeah.
I don't think the flame will make it so that it can compete with a daybreak though eventually.
Yeah, that's the thing. I was also wondering. That's a hypothetical, but how good would the Dominator have been with that flame if I played during the what's it called, the Sweetwater transposing stuff?
If you had the same. Oh, this one that you have now, or the quality of what you have on a superior?
No, the Dominator, I mean.
I mean, usually people will be looking for like 105 plus, but this is more like a 124, so that's quite a bit above that. There was a time, like around the flame compensation, that was like peak, people flaming for transposing, that people were arguing that you should aim for something closer to like 115 to 120, but the goals for flames got kind of out of whack because a lot of people got like 10 to 20 to 30,000 flames. Like, I never bought flames. I only used the flames from bosses, and I got 18,000 flames as compensation. So I couldn't even imagine people who actually like grinded a lot of money and bought a lot of flames, how many they got. They must have been astronomical. So, people were saying like, oh no, average flame score in Arcane should be like 160, and like, dude, get out of here. That's not realistic. So I made sure to not let them crank up the numbers too much. But yeah, usually it was like 64 and 60, like anything like 60 and 5 would be like the gold standard for a lot of people. So anything above that would be really nice. Actually, I suppose some lower things though, like 48 and 6, like stuff like that.
Can't even imagine how long it would have taken to even use 18,000 flames.
Yeah, took a bit. Well, I mean, you get through them. You know, it's when you have them, it's surprisingly easy. But the problem is that you start setting the bar a little high, or you know, you could hit something like your superior pendant, and then people will make the mistake of like, oh, this is manageable. I should try to do this on all the characters. Like, no. You should look at like what is reasonable with the flames that you have. If anything, if something else hits a little bit lower, you can say like, I'm going to stand with this because the other flame from the superior can cover for the difference, right? Like on average, I'm still really good. So if you hit a decent flame pretty early, you could cut your loss or cut your gains, I guess, and move on to the next item rather than trying to doom roll into getting something near this. Because I mean, you can math it out, but it's probably like a trillion no, not a trillion flames, but like a trillion meso worth of flames at least, right? To get something like that. So realistically, you don't want to. Yeah, you don't want to set that as a standard for your account because it's not workable.
Yeah, I'm never touching the superior flames on any of them. It's too much investment for low gain.
Yeah. No, exactly. With and you have the belts, especially if you can hit the belt. I guess to touch on that because of events and pitch and stuff like that, especially if it's you have the belts but you don't have the other pieces to work on them, right? Because you don't have any pitch right now, or
no,
you have the eye patch.
One set.
One set, yes. Does that count? Is one set a thing? No set bonus, so I don't even know if that counts. Yeah. So, I
can put on a belt. A 15-star belt, yeah.
Yeah. Have you equipped one before? Because you get the achievement, right? The first one you wear.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Yeah. Because you could tap the belt. I would only do that during a shining event. Even if you have like no other projects, because you still have projects that will cost you money, and like 3-lining stuff and everything. I don't know if you're tempted to tap the belt at all, but because even if it goes, there's just money. One. Yeah, you boomed one, yeah.
Yeah, I boomed one, and then my current one, a 10 bill, and then I thought, I think it's better spent on something else.
Yeah, exactly, because, I mean, it could go, but even if it goes, you can't equip it, right? So there's just money stuck to an item in your inventory, then it's better to invest in the character now, get stronger, maybe get to split parties faster, so you can get the other pitches faster, so that this one can become relevant faster.
Yeah.
Just in the grander scheme of things, it just makes more sense. Yeah. Have you considered going 22 Twilight over the tattoo or no?
Yeah. The thing is that we've seen such a small amount of Twilights back in our 6-man. We just did a round robin back then, so everyone gets one, and then you blink, but if you have one, then you're not allowed to blink.
Gotcha.
So then I got one, and I just thought I might as well just transpose it. And then I've got 3 since then, and they're all boomed. I have a trace in my inventory, so I've just been settling with the 22 Sweetwater. And if I get a Berserk or a Twilight Mark to 22, then I can just do a bit. What is it called? A strong drop piece.
I guess that does mean. What that does mean if you have this as a because you could also you could go like 19 or 21 Twilight and use that as a drop piece instead, and you keep this as damage until you switch it with Berserk. But the other thing is also that since you have this, you don't have the 2-set Dawn yet, which means that earlier than for most other people, a 22 Daybreak will replace your Dominator, right?
Yeah, if I can get a. If I can, I've only got one Dominator deck. I haven't tried tapping it because I thought it would be a waste of money currently.
The Daybreak, you mean, right?
Yeah, the Daybreak.
Yeah.
That's right.
It's not a top priority again, but like it's probably something to start looking at once you've got like the cycle that I was talking about. Like if you have the next 5 and 15 are shining, you get those 2 arcanes ready. Then you do like some mass cubing, hopefully like emblem. Secondary 2-line attack, 1-line boss would already be really solid. Maybe something, probably what you'll hit is very similar potential to what you have in your weapon now, right? And then go towards the other pieces and go for 2.5-line stuff. After that, it would be probably like either like looking for 22 arcanes or looking for like those kind of upgrades, like the Daybreak potentially. So Twilight not, because it is transposed and it's got decent pot and it's like 3-line already. I'll probably only upgrade this with Berserk. If you get a Twilight, I'll probably only look at seeing if you want to make a stronger draw piece, yeah, other than that. Because the Condensed Power Crystal is great, but it's kind of run its course, right?
Yeah, I have one for Meso and I have one for drop.
Oh yeah, I see, yeah. I mean, I think that's pretty normal, but there comes a time where you want to dedicate to your double, like your full set, right? Do you have your full hybrid set where you can have, because I saw quite a few double lines.
Yeah, I have yet to hit a double drop, but I've hit like 7 double meso, and then I've hit some hybrid lines, but I've yet to hit a double drop, so I'm not full dropped in full drop gear. Also, I have a 21 Kana drop ring. So I thought, and I'm wearing a 22 one, so if I ever get an ET, what should I do with the other 22? Because you can't wear 2 drop 2 Kana rings, I mean.
Yeah, that's true. This one is and this one is hybrid.
Should I just YOLO and go for 23 if that ever happens?
So we're saying if you go ET and it hits,
yeah,
then you have a spare 22, and that could go into
a sub.
Could go into 21 superior, yeah, and use that. On my arc, I ended up with 2 22 superiors because of doing a second one and then tapping the original one, and they both went. So I have a 22 superior as a drop in meso item. So honestly, you could do that as well, because that'll be big upgrade compared to like a Silver Blossom or or an event ring or something like that.
Yeah,
so and you have a spare. So
yeah, I included the 0-star one because last Shining Star Force, I tapped the 21, the Kana ring to 21, like the spare one I have, because I didn't have enough Gollux coins to buy the sub ring. So I thought I might as well just get it while there's an event, and then I thought my sub would boom, so I bought the Superior Gollux ring before I boomed my main ring, and then it went to 22, so now I have a 21 Kana and a 0-star Superior ring.
Yeah, that's the one downside of the 1 per week limit, because you have to buy ahead of time to be safe, so that you can maybe buy a second one during the event, but then if the first one goes, your 700 coins are just ruined, so that's rough. So you just hope that the belts and the earrings hits without needing to buy anything, so that you can run that risk on the pendants and the, at least, with the, in the past with the rings, if you do have spare rings, then you can just, we would transfer them into slime, but because slime is so easily killable now and with all the power creep, it doesn't make much sense to do that for ring anymore. But for pendant, you still probably want backups for source, so that's probably not that bad to have like 1 or 2 extra of those, because you'll most likely need them anyway, especially if you get them very late, because then you want to tap 22 into 21 for every single tap, right?
Yeah.
That can get very spooky and cost a lot. So if you can have some superior pendants lying around for that project, yeah. I mean, in that sense, it's a good situation, because if you still do Helix, you know that every time you have 700, you could just buy a superior and have them, so you have a few. Because you don't have.
Yeah, I'm doing
like
Helix every day. And I have 2K coins. I just haven't been buying any next because I thought they would just fill out my inventory, and I don't have a what is it called, a sauce yet. So.
Yeah. Well, I think if there's anything filling up your inventory, it's like spare rings. It's probably a few of those that are like lingering in your inventory longer, because there is plenty of room, right?
Yeah, well, I don't. Since I don't have the sauce, then I've also been throwing out some of the bad rings. I'm just keeping the ones that looks like a raw and the actual good rings.
Yeah, I hit that one and I was like, oh, wait a minute, this one looks a little sus, and then I rolled over it and it was like, no, wait a minute, yeah. And then you see them next to each other, you could definitely see the difference, but if you just see them in your inventory alone, for a second there, I thought I had it.
Yeah, I got the raws back to back, the raw 2 raw 4s, then I got a continuous back to back, back to back. And my first ring was the weapon jump 3. So
like, this is a good start.
The rings have been nice.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, I would buy superiors, just every now and then, because it is a weak cooldown, and because you can, you don't really know that if you hit a source, you probably want to get into it as soon as possible. But then you might be like a month gated from being able to buy pendants, right? And since the others are all 22, there's no loss there. So I would just buy them whenever you can, just to be prepared for it if it does show up,
Yeah, all the Dominators in my inventory are 22, ready for the souls.
Yeah, 1.
That's a joke.
Oh no, wait, these 8. Yeah, yeah. Well, that's another thing as well. If you can get your first daybreak to hit, then daybreaks can become fodder for the source as well, right? So that's also a nice thing that if you know, and if you do, or if it does hit and it's not an upgrade for you yet, or well, if you have one and you break out of superior set, then your current one becomes fodder for the source. You know, although you might not want to do it because you'll lose that flame, I guess. But it will be, an already fully upgraded that can immediately be food for a source.
I think I'd rather just make it a drop nick.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure how strong the drop gear actually has to be for like late granders, but I kind of like the idea of just one hitting without ever thinking about the damage.
Mm-hmm. For hero it doesn't need to be super strong because your hits are, you smack pretty hard, right? With your basic, all of your basic damage is pretty high.
Yeah, when I went to the new areas, what is it called? The debuff skill. Can't remember what it's called.
Yeah.
I'm in game, but you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, puncture.
Yeah.
It hasn't been one hitting just when I get to the areas. Usually I'm sack-gated because most of the time that's the better mobbing skill because of the reach.
Yeah, because it's more vertical, right?
Yeah. So
you can hit
because of that, it
multiplats.
would be nice with but
Yeah.
that's mostly a sec issue more than a damage issue. But damage
exactly.
Does help with sec.
Yeah, so what do people... I think the people who make like 21 and 22 like gear when the areas were announced, they mostly did that so they wouldn't get sack-gated, so they could keep making the same gains. But then as soon as you hit the sack, they're just overpowered and all of their stuff is too strong, basically. So if you're a bit more patient, you definitely don't need to make gear that's that strong. Because like on my... I don't know if I can check like for my arc. Yeah, so, I mean... My arc is a bad example because eventually you will get pieces that are that strong as soon as you hit pitched, right? Because then, like, you hit a berserk. Like, look at the tattoo you have now, right? That can immediately become a drop and meso piece.
It's going straight to drop, yeah.
That's like insta free. So, I kind of against, depending on how quickly you move through the game, pretty much against like making dedicated 21 or 22 drop stuff, because then if you hit pitched, you have another 22 star that you now have that's completely unemployed that could have, gone on just easy recube and gotten a second life.
Yeah, I don't plan to make drop gear. It's more of a, when you grow out of your old clothes, then...
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I had this old stuff, so you see some hybrid stuff here as well, right?
Yeah, I'm looking.
That was my old stuff, but this is, this is like a 16-star tattoo, so this is like, an old reinforced Gallix ring. Spare Superior Pendant, back when they used to drop from Helix, that was my old stuff. And then, because of transitions... Like, I still have this one, but I have even older stuff. So right now, my drop stuff... So there's still a synergy because it's double item drop. And I have a 20 solid and a chaos ring. So, even ring-wise, that's still quite a lot of damage, right? That could be up here. And then the extra 22 superior.
Yeah.
The 22 pendant, because it's about as strong as my transposed pendant. So I keep my options open. If the other one ends up becoming worse, then I can always switch the potential around. Old transposed monocle, the 22 twilight mark, so for you that would be your tattoo in that position, and then the transposed earring from generations ago. This shows my age a little bit, I guess, having this item in the first place. But for you that would be the superior earring that would just get recubed, and this is stronger, because of the flame advantage on the transpose and the level, but it's not a huge difference.
Yeah, that's also one of the questions I had about Sweetwater, because I'm sitting on 1,600 Denaros, and I'm not really sure. I think I don't really have any use for them, but maybe you had some insight on anything I could do with them.
Denaros. So it's weird, but I like. Yeah, it's a bit strange, but I like Denaros as backup for pitched. For most people, to walk their Star Force up, past 19, up to 21, up to 22. So then I think it's very useful, right? So the way you can see it is like if you have a 17 Twilight mark and that's all you have and you get it pitched, if you get a pitch to 17, like now what do? Well, I would say now you have the availability to run your Twilight up to 19, right? If it doesn't go, you equip the Berserk, and if you get the next Twilight mark, you run it up to 19. If it goes, now you go back to the Berserk. You try to run the Berserk up to 19, right? That way you kind of like try to bring them up. And people who don't have Twilight mark or don't have access, I would say there's a lot of value in getting the Sweetwater Tattoo instead and doing it with that one, getting that one to 19 to 21 to kind of like help get your pitched higher without the risk of, with a higher guarantee of making any upgrade with the money that you're spending. But since you're already at 22, the only thing you could do with Denaros is like make transpose an earring or the pap mark. But you have the eye patch, so I'm pretty sure the later transposed pap mark into monocle, even at 22, is still slightly weaker, I think, than a 22 eye patch. So that wouldn't make any sense, I don't think. You don't have a strong. Oh, I know you have a Black Bean mark, right?
Yeah, it's a 20 star. Drop,
So that's a. I mean, I would consider that like the weakest of like the strong drop meso pieces, basically.
Yeah.
Because it's stuck at 20 and it's pretty low level, but it still chunks a little bit more. And the other thing would be pendants, right? And pendants is just, what would you like, transpose this Dominator pendant into a Sweetwater or get one at 16? It's just not worth it because you're already at Daybreak level, and a Daybreak at 22 again will beat out even a transposed Sweetwater. Now at 22 it will still be beaten out by the Daybreak because of the set bonus. So I don't think you have any use for Denaros now.
Yeah,
they look pretty. They're shiny.
Yeah.
So
it's
put them in.
Kind of hurts grinding that many, and then.
Yeah. Well, you said you had 1,000, right? That's not too bad. I think.
Yeah, it's like 1,600.
Yeah, I think between my characters, I probably have something like 12,000 that are like not using. So it could be worse.
Jesus Christ. Oh well.
Let's see. Where's my arc? My arc has 2,400 almost. Yeah, it's probably the lowest of my top 4.
At least Commerce is fun.
Yeah, at least it was fun while you were gathering the Denaros, right?
Yeah. I even made a Dreadnought.
Yeah, beautiful ship.
I thought it would take. Oh yeah, I love her. It's the best. It's the best investment I've ever made.
The gold plating on it. You have that one cannon that's like a solid golden cannon, and it's on a plate with like the smallest wheels in the world, trying to keep up the giant cannon that's just on a board that should snap in half. Honestly, under the weight.
That's why we paid so much money for it.
Yeah, it's probably
Also
just to reinforce the boat, so that it doesn't crash through your boat. The one what? Sorry.
The one green pixel on the.
Yeah, one dead pixel near the rope, right? On one of the voyages or something.
Yeah, that's the highlight.
Anyone with OCD getting tilted,
Yeah, I hated it. I hated every second of it because of that one pixel.
Yeah, you can't really miss it. Your eyes get pulled towards it. Yeah.
Exactly. But yeah, with drop gear, I have more rings than I have fingers because I've just hit like one line drop and then I get a better ring and then I just didn't throw out my old one.
Yeah.
So way too many rings.
Yeah, there's something to be said about just keeping some spare legendaries, but once you really, like for me on my arc, I should really just drop like the old set. Like if I run into equip trouble, should really just drop the old set, even though it's hybrid stuff and everything, because I have other hybrid stuff and it's stronger. Like I'm never going to be using a level 100, level 110. I could drop like most of this, right? This is like legacy. Value. Yeah, it's it's basically just nostalgia.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, if you start running into problems with inventory space and everything, although hopefully in the next update we should get the symbols all in coupon form, so that should alleviate some of that.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I can't even do all the dailies and my inventory is full.
Yeah. Oh, I have to pick them up like one at a time, or like some I can do 2 at a time. Like the ones that give 10, I can do up to 20 spaces. On my oh, dude, you should see my marksman. I think my marksman right now has 2 inventory spaces, and that's
Jesus Christ.
that's it. But it's like, yeah, I mean, we need more inventory space or some kind of personal storage for reboot. I mean, for heroic, because it just doesn't make any sense. We have no trade for it, no storage for it, but we have to hold on to everything, right?
Could they also just not make them equip and etc.
Yeah,
or something else?
Yeah, something like that. Because I have some legacy items, but you know, got like extra badges, stuff like that. You know, old character stuff.
Yeah, a few Connor rings.
A few Connor rings. Yeah, I probably got rid of some of those pet marks. You got my arcane backups for, because this guy's at 19, but you know, 19 to 21. You know, maybe if my fingers are itching. My weapon's already 21 because I had so many backups. Same thing like the hero. And then since I got it to 21, I've only seen like one box. Oh yeah, and I have an ET here, which I also got. You can't really get rid of that. And also 2 belts. This is the only guy that. These are the only 2 pitch I need on my arc, by the way. Belts and ET, and they're both on this guy.
Just transfer them over.
Oh, just transfer, bro. Yeah. But yeah, and then I already have rings, but like if I get a weapon jump, then I can get rid of that. But yeah, once you start adding those rings in, some legacy items, some spare. Yeah. It depends on what you hoard, of course. Yeah, you've got some androids as well. It's pretty unnecessary. But yeah, some items you can't get again, so kind of holding on to them.
I don't have any legacies. So you have both badges on that guy?
Yeah. Well, yeah, technically 3 because I have one equipped, right? Got the got an equipped one, and then I still have the. So yeah, it'll be a matter of tapping this one, see if it goes to 22, then you can transfer hammer, then you can YOLO tap the other one, and or if this one booms, tap the other one, bring them up evenly, and then whichever one survives the longest gets to be recubed for 33, something like that.
I just YOLO tap the one you have equipped.
Yeah, I'm not mad. I can just YOLO tap the only one I have and just hit 22. That's just not my style. I don't have that kind of hands, you know?
Yeah, I've been watching your content for a while. I know you're a bit risk-averse.
Yeah, a bit. Yeah, that's putting it nicely. I appreciate that. Probably the most risk-averse content creator ever.
Yeah, I've been following the is it your progression grid? That's mostly what I've been following for my flames, and making sure that I'm keeping up with my level and stuff. It's been great help.
Yeah, it gets tricky to. Yeah, I found it just necessary to put it in all in one place, you know, so that it's for people who are just lost, or even if you're gone from the game for a while and you kind of forgot how everything works, and you're coming back, you can very quickly catch up again with that. Even though the 6 job part was mostly, or like into 6, right, was mostly just like an estimation, because you know we saw it in Korea, but it's like, you know, we don't know exactly how quickly are we going to progress. Yeah, different drop rate, you know, what is going to be realistic for us. The one thing that's really hard to say, like, this is how hard your matrix has to go.
Well, roughly all max by 275 is
no, by 285.
Oh yeah, but still 285. I still think that's
yeah, by 274, 19, I don't even know. You might have to split it up as well, like in priorities. But I kind of want to avoid having 30 rows here, because you can start adding more and more. If combat power comes, you know, are we going to add combat power? Probably not. It's probably going to be too different per class to add. I think it's just going to replace whatever damage range is now, but it might be, I don't know. If you can see a more definitive line in it, then maybe combat power enters the fray, you know.
Yeah. Like the two rows, I think that's been the most useful for me was flame scores and the attack. Like it's been very helpful looking at those.
Yeah, I'm looking at this now. The Star Force for late game is probably a bit too low, I think, because this is taking so much longer.
Yeah, it also depends on if you have a badge or also.
Yeah. No, that's true. I'm putting 407 plus here, but I'm pretty sure my highest level characters are 450. And even without the potential badge, you still end up at 428. Oh, and then you take the Oz ring away, of course. So then you end up at 4. Yeah, and then you end up at 407. Yeah. Yeah, okay, makes sense.
I have no idea how you get that high. My stuff was. Oh, no, mind. I'm in drop gear. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. You're wearing some 8-star pieces. Like, why is your
like
I'm at 300 and
I'm only missing my arcades.
I'm at like 360. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
That is wild though, because sometimes people be like, "Oh, I have 22 CRA. You know, Arcane's already 19. My potentials are good. My flames are good. Like, how does someone do 10 times my damage? Like, that doesn't seem possible. But you know, there's little nooks and crannies, like little corners, min-maxing all the little things, and it all compounding, and you get so much stronger.
Yeah, I feel that with Culvert. It's like I'm almost done star forcing, and then people are still like 3 times my Culvert. It's like, what? I thought a lot of my power should come from stars, but
yeah, that's wild. Oh yeah, you did mention the Estelle earrings here. I've started dropping all of mine because I feel like I was ahead of the curve of needing that, because I mean, you're just waiting for the Darknell earrings anyway, and then switching out, and then you'll have the 22 superiors waiting. So it just seems to me like a waste of money to go for high Star Force Estelles.
Yeah, I just like how they look.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, yeah. A lot of equips feel like they were just made to kind of look a certain way, but for people to want to cover them with NX immediately. Estelle earrings seems to be, as an exception, one of those that is not designed like that. And we talked about the Spirit Ring, right? Yeah, I would just if you do get the ET, then you can tap the other one in there. Okay, you said you also had questions. Well, I think that's good, right? You said you also had questions about the bossy mules?
Yeah, it was more like general stuff. More like how many... Because I don't want to heavily invest into a lot of boss mules and then having too many and not, having too many crystals. So, like, what's like the rule of thumb for the amount of boss mules you want?
Yeah, I would say more importantly than having too many crystals, because you can already have too many crystals, because you could do normal daily bosses, right? So I would say the rule isn't necessarily like how many crystals, but the rule is how much time would go into doing the bosses versus the time that you like or prefer to spend grinding instead. So if you have a certain amount of hours you grind in a week, that's kind of like your comfortable number. Or, going over that would make sure that you have to get more familiar juice and you kind of run out of coupons and then you start getting diminishing returns. If you feel like you kind of know how many hours, of grinding you can do, and you still see that you have like, 2 hours a week available or something, a bossing mule, ideally you'd have like half an hour, G skills, and you kill as many bosses in that half an hour, I would say. So depending on how much time you see available, either slots of half an hour or just total hours, I would say that's where you can definitely gain a lot from putting a boss mule in that slot. But I usually advise people to go one at a time, so just get used to what it's like to add another to your roster and what that does to your overall schedule and to the pressure. And as soon as you feel like, ooh, that's maybe a little bit too much, or like, oh, this is good, then just stop. Because like you said, if you do fund characters or you fund a few at a time, then you're going to feel that pressure that you have to run to make sure that you can make your money back. But the reason I say don't worry about the crystals is because that's what I started running into, mesos per week, is that once you do start getting too many crystals, what you simply do is you just stop selling the weakest one, and you stop running that boss. So I started phasing out Hard Hilla, started phasing out Chaos Ping Bean, and maybe this week, but I'm not sure yet, I can also start phasing out Normal Cygnus. Or I can also tell myself I can kill all the normal, sell all the Normal Cygnus, but I won't. But then I just do one fewer boss mule. That'll be less money, of course, but it's not a huge amount less in the total amount of money that you can make. But then you have to worry less about. It's about the same amount of time, right? Because instead of half an hour on one character, it's like 3 extra minutes on 10 characters, so it comes out to the same amount. But it's one less switch of the link skills, switching of the Legion, and making sure that the G skills are off cooldown, and etc. But that's basically how I look at it. You'll like if you want to min max, then you want to do like C10A on 55 characters, and then do Kalos and eKaling only and things above on like 2 characters, right? That's how you would max your crystal value. But the amount of time you would spend per character then would not be that high, but the amount of characters you could do would be then like 55.
I think that's a bit out of my reach at the moment.
Yeah, I think if you do that, you make something ridiculous, like I think something like 80 bill a week or something. So it's the value per crystal is like on average around 500 mil. Yeah, I don't know, something stupid. I think 80 towards 90 bill, I think. is like theoretical max. But I think for most people, if you're starting to reach a general good income is around like 15 to 20 bill is like a really, really good income. And if you just find that you like grinding more, then I would say just grind more, because you'll make up for that difference in quite a bit. And through events, you'll eventually get bossing mules that just pop up anyway, right? Like you got hyper burns every now and then. Event EXP, you probably keep dropping it onto the next character until suddenly you have another 250 that just comes out of the ground, because the event EXP will be less and less effective on your main character, so it'll make more and more sense to just throw them on low-level characters just to bring them up to 250.
Yeah, that's the story of my Wild Hunter and Shade. They're both hyper burns, and then the marksman is just event EXP.
Yep. Yeah. So that'll just, as long as you have some character in mind that you want your next one to be, and that just becomes your target of your next event EXP, then eventually you'll get more bossing mules. And then you can always see like, oh, now I have too many bossing mules. Now it'll also be easier to just drop a character, because you won't have invested like a whole bunch of money into it. So it'll feel less bad to just not do it for a few weeks or for a month, and just to see how that feels for your total workload, game load. I don't know what you would call it, but like amount of time spent on the game. And your differentiation between how much do you grind and how much do you boss.
Yeah, the Kali is probably the first character that I'll drop if I ever get too many.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if it's not your, because that's the great thing as well about having them be funded more organically. It's not also like if you don't have time, but also if you don't like the character, it's also way easier to just drop it and replace it with another character. Because that's what I did. I noticed that there were some characters that, like the DS was kind of like up there, like you kind of have to because it's so strong, but I just didn't really like it. And I didn't see myself investing into it to hopefully like it more. So I was like, I'll just do this other character, you know. And then that helps as well with looking forward to doing it and getting it done, rather than being like, ugh, this character again, you know.
Yeah, that's also the downside of overfunding a character that you don't really know if you want to play.
Mm-hmm.
Like
yeah,
and
the downside of doing sorry, I would say, and the downside also if you do multiple at once, right? Because then you feel really forced to do all of it. Yeah,
I can't help doing that more than one.
You already have a good roster. If you're making that much money, and it seems like you're grinding quite a lot, judging by your Hexa Matrix, and you've got these bossing mules already. I mean, that's already quite a lot on your plate. So it's up to you whether you even see like a lot of time and opportunity to go harder on that, you know?
Yeah, I just like the time efficiency of boss mules. Not making them, but actually killing bosses. Just selling all the crystals.
It's undeniable how good the value is, but that's also because we kind of completely forget all the time we invested to get them there, right? Because it's like, oh, you make this much in half an hour. Well, yeah, I mean, if you would go into infinite time, but we don't have infinite time, so you have to add like, I don't know, like 10 to 15 minutes or something every week per character for probably many years until you make back the time that you've already invested into it, right? You shouldn't forget that.
Yeah, exactly.
So that decreases the efficiency a little bit, but you have already paid that time forward, so now it feels like you're so close to starting to cash in. But yeah, you can still make those gains. Honestly, it's also the point where you start finding yourself becoming a little bit more of a daily gamer, where you just start really going down on the grinding. That's probably when the bossing mules become even more efficient for your account, because of how much time is in between your upgrades and how expensive they are, you know, once you're doing like eternal stuff, or basically the only thing you want to save money for is pitched and eternals, right? So and then when you hit, you want to have all the money in the world, so that's probably when bossing mules become more appealing, and when you want to shift the rudder a little bit more from, you know, the percentage of time spent grinding versus bossing, and trying to shift that balance a little bit.
Yeah, exactly.
The one thing I do notice though, your raid power. Did you Star Force most of the stuff on all of your mules?
Yeah, all my characters that are 140, they have a full 12-star Penciliers and whatever Sakum item and whatever Horntail stuff that I could get.
Okay.
Because especially in the beginning of my account, because when I came back in August, I had like 300 Legion levels, so I had to level all my characters. 300?
Okay, well, you worked hard then.
Yeah. It's almost coming up on a year's progression, this account.
Yeah, well, that's still very good. Yeah, I guess my privilege of old account is heavily showing then, because I see 420. I know that's not like horrible, but I'm I'm coming up on double that, so I'm like thinking like how realistic is that to really, well, almost I'm at 812. I'm like how realistic it is to upgrade from there, but I guess I'm underestimating the
coins. 56k coins.
Yeah, I'm down bad. Yeah,
Could you spam me some?
Yeah, I was at 160k at some point because I trained so little, but then I decided to really do the totems right back when we had those, and really finish those. Oh yeah, well that was like the best motivation for me to actually get on my ass and actually train, but then just fully couponing during the totems and doing what was like 15 totems per month, that got me down in I think 3 months from like 160k down to 56k. So it was like, oh, these things do go down pretty quickly. And I've been hovering like around 50k for probably like over 6 months now. So every now and then you can buy some extra like black flames from the store. But yeah, that is all coming from that raid power. So you can use events for sure. And I guess that's maybe a little bit more late gamey stuff, because once you're past 8k, you really don't get any value really from like hitting the milestones like 8.5, 9, because just one block extra. You get more value from hitting 250s, or and in terms of like the gains passively from the grid, right? Or from just increasing everybody's level so that your Legion raid power goes up, so you get more coins.
Yeah.
So that is
levels is just I haven't really. I just stopped at 8k and then somehow I got 400 more levels. Just feels like they come out of nowhere.
I pretty much stopped at 9k as well, but somehow 9.65. Like, and it seems like I'm close to 10k, but you've been playing the game long enough now, probably that's not close to 10 at all. But because the last 350 levels have to all go on top of level 215 characters, so that basically means 350. It basically means 10 characters from 215 to 250, right? Which is quite a lot. Quite a lot of training still.
Levels.
Yeah, but everything was 210, and then the last event during
the strawberry.
No, well, I pretty much skipped the strawberry. I did all the strawberry on my hero in one day to like basically got like 70% out of that.
Okay,
so that was yeah, it's pretty good, because the way I'm thinking about it, you can have a whole event where you do like a little bit daily and then you get a magnificent potion at the end, or you can have an event where you basically do nothing and then you have to train for like 3 hours, but then you get more EXP. So I just saw it as a trade-off for that, and that helped my hero get to 255 and get my first liberation started as well.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah, finally, because that character's like 7 years old. Yeah, the character's like 50k stat plus. So, but he's just was sitting at 250 forever. But that's like the general Star Force and the general level of your whole account. So, if you want to get more damage from your grid, it makes more sense to just make more 250s from now on. But if you want to get more access to coins, it makes more sense to divide the levels over all your characters and bring them up evenly.
Yeah, I'm going for the 250, the 250 route. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's also the thing with my high level characters. It's all Legion bonus characters.
Yeah. So if there's still good Legion bonus, then I would look for 250s, but more specifically because then you can get a strong bossing mule out of it. But if you're really struggling with coins, I would look towards just using events to more bring the characters up evenly, because then the value per level goes up quite a bit. Because my my level 215s, well, they've also been funded somewhat, but they're all like 12, 13 mil. I think yours are like 10 mil, right?
Yeah, something.
Yeah, like around 10 mil. Yeah. So even only 2 mil, but 2 mil 40 times is 80 mil, right?
Yeah, it adds up, yeah.
So that's like a fifth of what you have. So that increases your base coin, base coin gathering by like almost 20%. So that is something to think about, especially, the further you go, the more you'll be relying on all of the bonuses applying at the same time. And if some of those fall behind, like the Legion coins, then that can have a bigger impact on your overall value per hour that you're grinding. But you have 3k, so you have a decent buffer. But yeah, that can go away pretty quickly if you want to go ham.
Yeah, I think I had 5k and then I bought 10 meso and 10 drop, and then I did grind it.
And then you're like, ooh.
We went down. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it was worth it in the frags, so.
Also focusing on level 200 plus of the strength characters.
Ah, yeah.
Oh yeah,
I
yeah.
went for
Eventually, they'll.
yeah. I've always looked at, okay, what's the bonus, and then I took that to 200 first.
Mm-hmm.
And then if
Yeah,
I
it's
liked
still.
grinding on it, then I could make it a bossing mule or something.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's fine. Yep. If you like the, I would say if you like the 5th job, that's for me. That's a decent indicator. Because you can get from most of my characters now because of events and stuff. Like people ask like, why do you train at like 210, at 220, at 230? I don't train characters at those levels anymore. Actually, it's all just like event exp potions and stuff, straight from like and like daily monster park and simple dailies, right? And simple weeklies, basically from 200 all the way to 250. Honestly, it's that doable. But of course, that's once your account is already established and you don't have that pressure behind you that you like need to get going. You know, and you just pick one and you just kind of slowly walk them up, or you walk them up into the 230s until Lotus and Damien becomes a lot easier. Because in the past you did need the levels to make sure that your matrix could have enough spots, right? But now that's also not even an issue anymore. Once you're like 225, your matrix is already plenty of space there, so no worries.
Yeah,
with,
there's a lot of quality of life like that happened during the year that I've been playing. It's like I played 1 or 2 months with the old 12 to 15 drop down star forcing, and then they took that away, and now the V Matrix is a lot more new player friendly, and
yeah, I mean it's been crazy, and honestly, if the impending doom of the possible changes to heroic servers weren't there, then we would be among the most hyped now than we probably would have ever been with like full character presets and the high mountain system. But because of the whole meso changes and everything in KMS, we can't really be too excited about that, other than rather than more fearful that what if kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
On paper, the quality of life stuff is amazing. I mean, other stat node, other mastery core, the Solianos, like all of that stuff, like would be so cool if you were, if the other stuff wasn't there.
I have one last thing. Unless you were about to say something.
Well, I was gonna say, like, does that answer your questions on bossing mules and then next question, and then you were gonna say?
Oh yeah. Well, before about the bossing mules, is like 12. Is it 12 a good amount, or how many bossing mules would you say?
So yeah, a lot of people go for like 12 total bossers. So how many of those are mules? How many of those are side characters? That's totally up to you. But that gets you into like the area of, if you do like the base, because you have 180 total crystals, right? Your main character probably sells quite a bit more, probably sells closer to like 20-ish. So then you have about 160 left over those 12 characters, is about 13?
Yeah, I said all but eKaling.
14?
Yeah.
Yeah. So basically people take like all of the crystals between Damien and Hardhilla, and then start there. Try to do all of those bosses within half an hour, roughly, right? Reinforced Gollux, Guild Skills, and 15% ID fams are your big friends. Those are the really cheap ways of getting a lot of damage on a new character and getting a lot of efficiency. And of course, picking a character that you like, picking a character that you're good at, or picking a character with high ID and crit rate is always nice. And in your case, you could just pick up 2 extra heroes if you wanted to. You've got the character slots for it. You already know the character like the back of your hand. You already know you like the character.
Rather have the levels and Legion from all the classes.
Sure, you could do that too. I mean, you still get the Legion levels from it, right? And you still get the power from it. The only thing that you can miss out on possibly is a 200 to 250 like member bonus. That's the only thing you're losing.
Oh, okay, I see. I thought you only got the levels.
No, that's only for 0. There can only be 1 0 whose level count in your grid. But for the other characters, they all count.
Oh, okay.
As long as they're like the top 42, right? Yeah. Yeah, no, I see definitely the appeal of just like not wanting to do that. But if you think about it, if you only have up to 42 characters in your grid and you have 55 slots, you could technically just make 13 heroes your bossing mules, and for your whole grid layout, not lose anything there if you weren't getting the characters to 250 either way. 250 is the first place where you start losing, because then from double S to triple S, the member bonus doesn't get applied. But that's it.
Yeah, I've even made like a sheet of the 35 characters with the useful bonuses. So I guess I have 7 characters that could fill
Oh
in
yeah,
with
35.
everything.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So you have up to 20 characters possibly.
Yeah.
that don't really give you anything that you could if you wanted to. Just you can have 20 heroes, a whole legion of them. Literally, yeah.
Yeah. I would just be sad if one of the other heroes got some pitch that the main didn't have. So
Oh yeah, that'll happen. That's what they want you, right? They want you to like scale up and get access to a bunch of stuff. That's why they give you all the hyper burns, and then you get the general feeling of like I'm progressing in pitch because something gets a drop, and then you'll feel like the drops are more common because they are, but not for the character that needs them. So it's like kind of false hope getting injected. Yeah, it's sneaky,
that's how
but
they get you.
yeah, it's always the things that feel like they're giving you a lot. Those are always the things you need to be the most suspicious of because they probably lead into something else that takes a lot of time and potentially money away from you instead. That comes back time and time again.
It is what it is. Gotta respect the hustle.
Yeah, it is a business after all. All right, and the last thing you had?
Yeah, it's my fams are ass, and I was thinking, when would be a good time to go farm fams? I kind of like grinding for fragments, but at some point the fragments are gonna slow down, or the upgrades from the fragments are gonna slow down. So it would be nice to find a middle point where it would be a good time to go for fams. I don't really need the boss damage, but the drop would be, I guess that would be very good for the pitch than just fragments in general and other backups. Getting a large drop because I've opened more than 100 epic and I haven't seen large drop.
Yeah, that's just ridiculously unlucky. You should have probably on average you see one large drop and maybe also a boss, like at least a 20% boss in that. But
yeah, I don't even have a boss. Not even, but I don't have a boss. I don't have a large drop, but I have 2 medium fams, healing fams. That's about it.
Yeah, I mean, if you had 1 or 2 boss, then at least you got something out of it, right? Out of the 100.
Yeah.
But if you don't even have that, then you really just got screwed for 100 epics straight.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's typically that's a pretty common question, and it is a tricky one. What you said is definitely correct. Like the main thing is definitely looking at like when does the value of the hexamatrix leveling become so low. I think for most people up to 280, there's decent speed in the progress and also value in getting to the next symbol for the stat and for the sacred power to make sure you don't get sec gated by anything. But the 280 to 285, that's definitely like still right now like a hard grind. And most likely, if you're not getting pitched and you want to wait for pitch to switch out the drop pieces, you also can't really kill properly yet, maybe at the top speed right in the 280 area, which means you have to stay in the 275 area, which means your rates are even lower, which means at that point it probably makes more sense to just go for fams instead until you at least hit the large drop, because that'll eventually come back in more fragments and then help you with your Sol Janos, and it'll help you with your second mastery core and all that. And all of the, because if you look at the hexamatrix, that thing isn't even half filled out yet, right? So there's
Yeah.
or maybe just half. No, not even
No,
half.
no,
So
no. I just went to 20%.
yeah. Well, I mean, just like the amount of skills as well. So there's still a whole bunch of skills that we're probably getting, right? So there's going to be plenty of fragments to get. So the sooner you get the large drop, the more extra fragments you're going to get from the extra drop rate. Again, provided that everything works the way that it should. But as far as we know, the more is going to pay off for it, the sooner you get it. That's just how it'll work. And the sooner you get it, the more pitch you'll get, right? So I think it'll also help you make sure that you... so I would say definitely around 280, because then you'll feel like you still need to train in 275 area. And you won't want to have to make the extra high Star Force drop gears, right, to be able to kill in the new area. So you want to get the pitched. How do you get the pitch? By having more drop rate. How do you get the drop rate? By doing the fams. So it comes down to that at that point.
Yeah, 280. That's also what I was thinking, like between 280 or 285. Well, yeah, I think 285 is going to be a stretch.
The only alternative, something that you could consider, is if there is a class that you really like, or maybe, I don't know, maybe like the AB revamp or the Lin revamp is a class that you actually really enjoy. And you end up training that, and then you just take the fams away from that one and give it to this one, and then maybe you hit pretty quickly, and then you don't have to go down. But then the next question is, do you go for boss fams? And that comes pretty quickly after the large drop, because you're probably going to still like slow down and be in pitch rune the whole way in 280 plus anyway. And the levels really only matter for the really highest level of bosses that you're doing to try to get more bonus damage there. They don't really matter for the fragments, right? Because you can train on lower level monsters, get the same fragments. Like, that's not really important. It's more about the monster kills there. So if there is another character, possibly that you want to do some training on and get familiars from, then you can use that to maybe skip the project on the main,
Yeah, it's just grinding on an alt to me just feels like I could be grinding fragments.
Yeah, I mean that is what it is. But again, essentially, or eventually, I should say, like the fragments, the individual value for fragments is going to go down so low. Also, probably once you hit like triple 19 and 29, and your Hexastat is already done. Yeah, you're never going to go into World Reaver. Do you start putting some levels into Sword Illusion up to 9 or something?
Yeah, I'm just following the like the level up from God, and it's gonna be like 20. It's gonna be 30, 30, 20, 20, 10. That's like my goal for before Dreamer.
The second 30 on the Instinctual.
No, on the Origin. That's why.
The Origin.
Yeah.
Oh, the Origin is better. Okay.
Yeah, you want to max the Origin before the other one. It's like you want to hit the thresholds of like the 10, 20, and on the
because the extra ID and boss damage on it as well. That helps with the scaling, right?
Yeah, also just, Instinctual Combo and Burning Soul Blade, each 10th level gives extra final damage. So you want to hit those thresholds.
Yeah, but that's why they are so expensive, those levels, yeah.
Yeah, that's why the Mastery, or the Raging Blow one is a bit of a scam, because the 10th one it costs more, but there's no extra gain. It's just the same level as 19 to 20.
A little bit of a scam. Reminds me of the cost for the rank up in your Legion. Like every 2.5k multiple, nothing happens, and then the one right after that is when you get to put 5 extra characters in instead of 1.
Yeah.
And then the one after that is when the price per upgrade goes up, and it's like, why are
there's no big gain?
Yeah, why is it not 2.5? Now it's 5 characters, and that upgrade costs more. Like that would make much more sense intuitively, but
too much sense.
Yeah, way too much, I guess, for whoever coded that system. I was like, no, we're gonna just spread that out completely and make them have nothing to do with the other one. Okay.
There's so many systems in Maple that's like that, where it makes too much sense. Why are flames on a 7-day and not? Yeah.
The eternal flames, right? Have a expiry date. Yeah, very eternal. Super intuitive.
Makes sense, yeah.
Yeah, so that's how I would do with FAMs. And then, when it comes to bossing, again, if you feel like by that time, second Mastery Core is out, Solianis, you want to go harder on that, it's like a preference thing, but there is going to definitely be a time where bossing FAMs will increase your damage by so much compared to anything else you could be doing. It's like your secondary, or, having an ID line instead of a boss damage line on that order of magnitude. Or you can hit 6% attack, or anything that's more useful than what's going on now. Because is 3% attack and IED, is that like the only kind of damage that you have now?
Yeah, I have a 3%, and I have a I think it's a 1 or 2% total damage, and I have the ID, but I don't even bother putting them on.
Yeah, no. It's like DA times.
Yeah, the one you're looking at right there is probably my bossing one.
Yeah, my DA has like 6% HP on one, and then 3% attack, and then a 15 ID. That's like my bossing FAMs. It's just depressing, yeah.
Yeah, it's depressing. It's still better than mine.
Yeah, it's that's making me feel good, but then you're more depressed. Yeah. I just go for healing FAMs, because then it's like if it helps anyone in the party survive anything, then it's already more worth than whatever shit show that is.
Like my party healing FAMs aren't that good, but I think the solo healing is okay. I have the Junior Boogie from
because you got the doubles
I made back in 2018 or something.
Yeah, if it's just for yourself, but it's double, that's definitely useful. I mean, you have the best healing in the game anyway, right? You got Invincible Belief, so.
Oh yeah. Definitely nice. Yeah, I have it at level 6.
Hey, that's saved me at least a few times. I mean, it can be pretty useful.
I remember the one session you had with a guy with the double boss fam and the double ID or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, was it one boss in IED and one double boss or something? Yeah, it was crazy.
It was insane. Insane.
Like a 30 and 15, and then was it a 40 and 30? Yeah, it was nuts.
We out here struggling.
You mean you guys don't have 80% boss damage, fams? Dude, it only stacks up to 120. Okay, you're overstacking.
Overcompensating for something.
240%. That would be a bit too much. Whew. Okay, does that help you with situating the familiars?
Yeah. 280 and see how slow the grind gets, and then I might go to Limina or whatever it's area's called. Test my luck.
Yeah, look up nice and AFK again. Sword on one. What's the sword uptime on max level?
No, it's not 100%. I wish they would make like a mopping version where you could have it 100%.
Yeah, it hits a little weaker.
Yeah.
And then, but longer uptime, yeah.
Because it's way too strong for mobbing.
Yeah. To have something... I mean, yeah, I played the marksman as well, right? Because I got split shot, and then it's like, what's split shot out? It's so easy to clear the map, but then you have some time in between, so then you have to use everything else in the downtime and go loot to make it work, and then go back to your position and then start split shotting again. I remember the old hero days when it was like Burning Soul Blade, and then into Cry Valhalla, and then Burning Soul Blade, and into Instinctual Combo, and then back into Burning Soul Blade, and like all this alternating, because you needed one of those effects on to have the strong version of your main attack. That now is by default, but you needed one of those, so you needed to cycle, and you need to level your Burning Soul Blade up like a mofo, because otherwise you wouldn't have the 100% uptime of any of the buffs in the beginning. So
yeah, it wasn't 4 minutes back then or something.
Instinctual Combo was 4 minutes, yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, and then Cry Valhalla was some stuff was desynced. Something was 3 minutes, and the Weapon Aura was it was.
And Will really Reaver was FD buff on top of an iframe, or.
Oh yeah, World Reaver was it was those two things, yeah. And Sword Illusion was just the shiny thing.
Yeah, I'm happy I didn't play back then.
Yeah, then they were like, well, yeah, now you need to use your iframe to get your final damage, and then you can't use it as an iframe anymore. That doesn't make sense. So they was like, yeah, that's actually true. So they switched it around. Makes way more sense.
Some classes still have their iframe on their bind.
Yeah, Ice Lining and Luminous. Yeah, for Cadena they also switched it. There was a skill. There was something as well that didn't make sense there, that they swapped the functionality. Oh yeah, they gave like an iframe, moved it around, something like that. So it just made more sense to switch it. I don't know. At the beginning, you make your choices. You make like the best possible choices with the skills that you have. But then if you develop more skills, then you can be like, hey, this would make way more sense if you move this over instead, you know? Because you don't want to end up with a class with like 7 iframes, because then you have a phantom, and then it's like stuff's just weird.
Oh yeah, there's so many people playing that class.
Yeah, main class, everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had to work hard to make sure that not everyone was maining Phantom. I was doing like 20 Phantom progression sessions a month.
Yeah, we can't have that.
Yeah, no. I mean, there was legitimately a time where it was just Kana, Adele, Kana, Adele, Kana, Adele, Kana. Like, it was just 90% was just those two classes for like the better part of 2 years, probably.
Yeah, when I started watching, I thought there would be a lot more heroes coming on, but I don't feel like there's that many people, hero players coming on.
There's some. There's like bishops, heroes, and like shadowers were pretty popular for a while as well. I see like waves, you know.
Yeah.
Or like you see a new content creator makes a new class, or like Copper-Sun would make like a new class. Suddenly you see like more people playing the class. It's just that
side effect.
Yeah, I mean, you can only really get affected and want to play a class because you see it played and you can see what it can do, and you can only follow so many people doing so many things. You can't really like follow 50 content creators with 50 different classes just to see what their class can do. That's not really realistic. So if you're following someone and you're not really liking your class and you're looking for something new and it looks interesting, then yeah, give it a try, you know? Makes sense. All right. Is there anything else you had on the list? Anything else you want to bring up, discuss?
For my list, there's one thing I realized. If you go to the bottom.
Yes. the backups,
I have a
or just
lot.
about that?
Well, I have a few grand spell essences, but I don't have any Meister. But with the proficient changes, it would be like a good time for an alt maybe to get some Meister rings.
Yeah. For an Alta, I think it's good. I wouldn't rush into it because Meister Rings is basically the only thing we have that you could classify as a transferable equip, basically. The bottleneck right now is usually Grand Spell Essences or Twisted Times, because you probably get enough primals from the harder bosses, I'm guessing.
Yeah, I'm sitting on like 50 or something.
Yeah, so that's not the problem. Yeah, so usually Grand Spell Essences. This next update should increase Grand Spell Essence drop rate, though, if we copy from KMS, so that should become less of a problem. Because you probably also want to craft your critical damage, the whetstones, right?
Yeah, that's
also,
something I have to get around to.
Yeah, because those cost like Grand Spell Essences per craft as well, so that's where a lot of them will go. So that's why we want that drop rate increase, so that we can do both of those things. Also, sometimes make primals if it's necessary. So, make primals, make meisters, I mean. So for meisters, I would look at characters if you're trying to... Because a lot of them will just get event rings over the years, and they'll kind of fill up the slots, and then you can add like a reinforced ring or a superior ring, depending on how far you're going to go and depending on which set. But then for the fourth slot, yeah, Kana treasure rings will usually fill that, so... You're already looking at like reinforced or superior, Kana treasure, probably at least one event ring on a character. So there's only like one slot left. That could either be another event ring or be a Meister ring. The way I look at it, it's really only worth crafting Meister rings if you're going to go at least up to 19 stars, but probably 21 or 22. So you want to have a character where you need that damage of having a 21 or a 22 is usually how I look at it. Otherwise, just throw an event ring on there when you get it. That's going to be like equivalent to 17 or 18 anyway. Or like at least like 17-ish, and then that spares you all the trouble and all the resources anyway. So mostly I look at Meisters for a character that I want to push beyond Slime. So push it towards like normal Lucid, Easy Will Solo, or even into like Hard Lotus, Hard Damien, like that kind of stuff. So maybe like a Blackheart Mule, right? That, and then use it as an alternative for if you're not hitting Kana treasure rings. Or just, you know, if you're doing like Superior, Kana Treasure, Meister, and then the fourth ring is either an Oz ring or like temporarily an event ring or something, right? Until you hit a good Oz ring or a slime ring, something like that.
Yeah, because I'm trading Sea Slime on the Marksman. So it's getting like it has the prio on the rings because we're both 22 on the mains. So we're just trading the rings between our mules. So. Yep. And it has, I think it has a 19 Kana, and it has the slime ring and an event ring, as you said. So I thought I might as well get Meisters on it, because I plan to take that further than...
Yeah, you could then, yeah. Because it'll be Superior, Slime, Kana Treasure, yeah, and then the last one, yeah. You don't want to go Reinforced, right? You don't want to take the coins away and slow down your future high-star Superior projects, if you can avoid it, and you can avoid it. So hopefully we get the same update with the Grand Spell Essences going up, and then we should see that stock gets replenished, and you won't have to feel too bad about spending a few hundred on a project like that.
Yeah, that would be nice. It even has the Superior ring, but it's worse than the other rings I have right now.
Yeah.
Switch.
You just tap at 17, probably, right?
Yeah, I'm just waiting for enough Gollux coins to finish the set.
Yeah, I gotcha. Okay. Does that answer your question for Meisters?
Yes.
Okay.
We've been through the list, so I don't really have any more questions.
Yeah, other than that, I mean, there's nothing like crazy I saw in your account that was like, what is this? You know, I mean, like a transposed tattoo, that's something you don't see every day, but honestly, if you're, in a 6-man party and the rotation is very long and you might not see one for like another 2 months, I think that's a perfectly reasonable thing to do. But yeah, you don't see it very often because people either get carried by guildies and they already have, Berserks or High Twilight, so they get higher priority faster, and then it makes more sense to not go for that move. But yeah, full pitch waiting room, full liberation waiting room, and then slowly walking up. But yeah, check for patch notes, check for the big events, and then just go ham on those events. You have the general order, right, on which projects to work on, which types of gains to make. And just hope you hit those pitches soon, and then you can at least be one step closer to like the harder Kalos and everything, and then speed up the Eternal pace a little bit, which is
Then
useful.
it's Eternal waiting room. Then it's Eternal waiting room.
And then Eternal waiting room, yeah. Just
getting money for Eternal.
That's like that's probably some cartoon somewhere where everyone is sitting in like, you enter a room and it's like pitch waiting room and it's like super crowded. It's like so many people, and then one person goes through a door every week or so, and then you finally get to go through the door, and then it's like Eternal waiting room and it's all the same people. And they're all like old and gray, and they've got like canes and everything, and they're like, yeah.
Secondary liberation soon.
Yeah, you thought you escaped, but you just moved the problem slightly forward. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
You want to do any shout outs or anything? Thank your mom. Thank your guildies.
Shout out to all the EU gamers. NA is a
yeah.
poo server. Come to EU. Come to EU.
Nice. You're gonna win them over, 100% with that. You represent Cuties Guild. Wait, have I had a Cuties Guild before?
I don't know. It's just a.
Maybe I did. Yeah. Beyond Cute
the third best guild. Yeah.
Nice,
Beyond.
nice.
Come be cuties on Europe.
I thought you were gonna say it's a top 3 guild, but I'm like, isn't every guild in EU a top 3?
Don't tell them that.
Don't tell them, yeah.
Oh, you know what means easy kill skills?
Yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, you guys probably have like, you guys have like in the 50s or what?
Yeah, we have 330s and then a 9, I think, or.
Nice.
And it's free.
Yeah,
and
it's pretty
the
free.
dojo is also very free. I went in,
Oh, yeah.
popped all my buffs, and then I realized I didn't click in, so all my buffs went away. And I made it to 4th place for 60 floor, so come get your easy dojo coins.
Easy.
And if you do Tower of Oz, Tower of Oz, if you just do 1 floor, I guess you're the best Tower of Oz player.
And for the gold Richie, just pick the number 3 and then you can win.
Yeah, I think our scrolls haven't been higher than 200, I think. So
I heard there was one item that people didn't really want on Hyperion, and the winning number was 3.
Yeah, we could beat that. We had a skin coupon that won at 2. So.
Yeah. And there was one that won at -1, but I think that was against the rules, so that probably had to skip that. Okay. Hopefully it was helpful for you to align everything a little bit. No dark mysteries resolved, but just another point of view and some perspective, right?
Yeah, it's very insightful. I've been watching like the sessions for a long time, so a lot of the stuff and knowledge it comes from you. So
okay,
yeah.
I'll take all the credit for your progress then. That's great. You get a little bit of credit for putting it together. You know, you push the buttons. You know, that's a little bit of work as well.
If you hadn't been there to tell me not to just go ham and go for 22s one at a time, then
yeah, you could have been in a completely different situation now. Yeah, you could.
Yeah.
One of those half 22, half 17 gamers who was like, yeah, and then maybe kind of like sandbagging your party as well at that point, and then that wouldn't feel too bad as well. Wouldn't feel too good as well.
Exactly, being full 17 and legendary on everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I guess you wouldn't know what could have been a horrible situation if you did follow, or you could have been way better. You know, who knows?
Yeah, who knows?
You could have hit everything first try.
It's all RNG in the end. Yeah.
It is all RNG in the end. Okay, but yeah, good luck to everything, and send my regards to the homies. I hope you guys get some good drops soon.
Yeah, thanks.
And thank you, and I'll see you around. Best of luck.
Yeah, have a good continued stream.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right. So, if you guys hear the end of the music looping, because the music session is about 124, and we go a little bit over. But yeah, hopefully, if you guys are in a similar situation, or you had some aspects of the session similar, and you had questions there as well on what to do, hopefully the insight and the reasoning and everything we went through in this coaching session gives you the tools that you need to make the decision for your situation. Remember, every situation is different, and whatever is the optimal decision for you might be slightly different depending on where you're at, how many backups you have, what your goals are, etc., etc. That's why we do these. So if you also want one of these sessions, 3 ways to get them. 1 is buy the session. pay me and you have my time, and we could talk about anything that you need. Second one is if you're subscribed over on Twitch. Over there, you see the chat on the left side. That was the Twitch chat, twitch.tv/Scardor. I stream there every day. If you're subscribed over there, which is very cheap, or with Prime, is free, and you just watch the stream, you'll get channel points, and you can buy the sessions with the channel points. So that's another way to do it. And the third way is RNG, is leave a comment on the video and talk about how amazing the video is and how it changed your life. And please include your Discord name. And then you could be one of the 2 lucky winners that I draw at the end of every month. This was one of those, by the way. This is one of the lucky winners. And you could get one of these sessions for free. So that's also a chance to get it if you're interested. And if you want a chance to win, you can consider doing that. Other than that, if you don't need a session, there's a whole bunch of videos you can watch. The playlist is probably on the screen right now. And a whole bunch of sessions that you could probably already get all of the information out that you need to. If you piece it together, you know. Or you could go over to my channel and check !info. There I have all the commands, so whenever I pull something up like this, there's all stuff that I've made that will set you... They're all parts of the puzzle of getting ahead in the game. And those are all, together coalesced. I don't know why I would want to use that word. But they're all collected in one spot. So you can use that, and some of them you have to use in the Twitch chat though, because it would be like a wall of text. So that's where you can find all that information. And if you have any questions on that, you can always reach out on Discord or just find me over at Twitch. I stream there every day, and drop by or just check out the next video or never return again. Either way, it's up to you. Thanks for watching this one. I might see you in the next one. See ya. Bye.